Good afternoon to all. My name is Sakshi Kulkarni. I am the director for the SME Chamber of India, and I would like to invite all of you for the this event called India SME HR Summit, and this we are organizing in association with Pagarbook.com. As you all are aware that the pandemic has created a bigger need for digitization the process and the HR teams for 2020 and as well as 2021. So we are expected the big changes in the HR sector. So for that purpose, Pagarbook has joined hands with SMA Chamber of India. And today's session is more from the how what are the new technologies had come into the HR management as well as why the digitization is required for SME sector and as well as what are the importance of technology HR. So we have various speakers today from the Pagaboo.com and as well as from the e-clerks and we have Mr. Girish Keswani, founder and CEO from PK Consulting, and Mr. Harmeet Singh Wan, a product manager at Pagarbook, and Mr. Rupesh Mishra, co-founder of Pagarbook.com, and as well as Ms. Shalini Jain, associate principal senior VP HR from eClubs. So now I would like to invite Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, who is a founder and president of SME Chamber of India and Federation of India SME Association to give thought from his side about SME Chamber of India, how SME Chamber helps SME sector for the promotion and as well as regarding his thoughts from the HR point of view. I would over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to all the speakers, and special good afternoon to the participants from the various parts of India. First of all, thank you for joining hands with us to Pagarbook and FedEx also, and because this is the right time to discuss about employment or people management system. When I had gone through the information about the Pagarbook, and there is one tagline I saw that MSME, the solution to India's job crisis. And that attracts to me very well. And since the right time to understand the benefits, advantages, and specific platform for the Pagarbook for managing the people, managing the workforce, and operating the proper industry and proper businesses during this pandemic. Friends, we are all aware that we are working from home, doing business from home. The people, those are working in a factory, they are working in a factory. They are putting their life on a risk, even though they are under the pressure for this pandemic. Everybody's fear, in a serious mood about this COVID and infection. Got people a lot of times, and many people are face a problem. But Pagarbook and the particular the employee management system, that we would like to know more from the particularly from the Rupesh Mishra ji and Mr. Singh, where they are going to give a presentation and where we can understand properly the benefits, advantages, and the solution, which is managing our manpower, workforce, their day-to-day activities. We are aware that the SME sector is a main force for the employment generation, and I observed that last 20 to 25 years that the manpower, particularly MSME sector, is not sticking continuity. If someone is working for any factory, he is unskilled labor or unskilled manpower. When they start taking training for MSME sector, after that they go to the large company or they go to the mid corporate. But MSMEs, particularly micro and small industries in manufacturing industry, they are educating the unskilled to skill. They are encouraging the new entrepreneurship, because after working in a small company, any worker, labor, or any office staff, they think for starting, to start their own business. So MSME sector is an education institute for creating the employment. MSME is an education institute to creating entrepreneurship, and MSME is playing a vital role for the economic growth of India. So this way we are working particularly for the SME perspective. We are providing support. Rather, we have a SMEjobs.in website. If you can look at the portal where we are supporting and connecting the MSMEs to get the quality manpower, workforce certified workforce. Because in industry, in manufacturing industry, you can't go only on a two-page CV or resume. You should know about what is the skill, scale, knowledge, and experience of that person. Then you can appoint. But once you appoint, then what work starts? The Pagar book work starts. How they are providing support, how they are giving hand-holding to MSME sector, how the management system using by this Pagar books advantages. So that we would like to hear from the co-founder, Mr. Rupesh Mishra. So I will not take much time, but I would like to welcome the Rupesh ji, the Harmeet, then Girish ji, and Ms. Shalini at this HR summit. But I would like to suggest all the speakers that highlight or emphasize on the what are the advantages for MSME sector, how MSME can retain their manpower for regular business, how the compliances and formalities can be completed through your platform, and how MSME sector can adopt the unique system where they can support their manpower to smooth working, continuity working, and mainly productivity and best services. So friends, I will not take much time, but I'm also eager to hear from the co-founders, Gyankar Technology Private Limited, which brought the Pagar book. And I would like to invite Rupesh Mishra ji to share his thoughts. Rupesh ji.
Thanks a lot, Chandrakant ji, for bringing me here. It's a pleasure to me for be on this platform and talk about our journey, how we started Pagar Book, what in general we want to build going forward in next 10 years, how the whole ecosystem that we are trying to build is going to help Indian MSME in a certain way. So these things broadly we will cover. But before that, like just thanks to all of you for bringing us here and giving us this platform to talk about our product, our vision, and in general, the things that we are trying to build for Indian SMEs. So before going deeper into our product and what we are offering for a small and medium-sized businesses, I'll quickly take maybe 2 minutes to talk about our journey, like how we started Pagar Book. So it was around October 2019, just before pandemic hit our country, what we started, like we were thinking that we need to build something for Indian SMEs specifically. So it was around 3 months journey that me and my co-founder, we went to a couple of cities like Surat, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Delhi. My dad also runs a small transport business where 12-15 people are employed. So we met some 400, 500 SME owner. We saw like immense number of problems that can be solved through technology. But one major problem statement that kind of hit us a lot is that in India, roughly 200 million people are there who are working in smaller businesses, or so to say SMEs. Roughly GDP contribution of these SMEs is 30%. All these employees, they don't have a proper financial and professional profiling in any technology infrastructure. I'll just decode this particular statement. What do I mean by that? So let's say I work in a small business here in India, in any city, like let's say Bangalore. I earn 15,000 rupees a month. Tomorrow, if I need 30,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees loan from any mainstream bank or any NBFC, nobody is going to entertain me. The reason behind that is how the NBFC or bank is going to judge my credit worthiness. The bank does not know what is my salary. Bank doesn't just can't put my Aadhaar card and check that how much money I'm making, in which business I'm working, since when I'm working, how diligently I'm working, what is my professional profiling, what kind of business I'm working in. So all these data points are kind of missing, and hence it is really a difficult job for a NBFC or for a bank to identify the credit worthiness of these guys. So that's what the meaning of missing the financial and professional profiling of the employees specifically who are working in these businesses. And hence these people are not part of the mainstream financial ecosystem. So that was one of the problem in our 2.5 month journey, where we met 300, 400 SME owners and their employees. That was one of the major problem statement that hit us a lot. And we came back to Bangalore and started thinking how to solve this particular problem. Should we start a lending company? Should we start a job marketplace? Like, how should we solve the problem of the employees who are working in smaller businesses? But what we realize is that the core of this particular problem is actually the source of this problem is not having the profile of these guys, like their financial and professional profiling. And to solve this problem, the easiest way would be that all these business owners who are managing their employees in some way, like most of the people are managing them on register, couple of people are, let's say, using Excel sheets, couple of people are using some crappy products like some random biometric and things like that. So can we build a easy to use workforce management solution for these small and medium sized businesses, where what the business owner will have to do is that he'll onboard or she will onboard all the employees by putting their name and mobile number onto the platform, and then every day basis they'll start feeding the data into the system by putting the attendance, month end whenever they're paying the salary to these guys, they'll record the salary into the system, they'll process the payroll via our system. Certain compliances that are needed, that should be in place. Attendance should be automated. It should not be very manual like the way they are doing right now. If, like, in the month of roughly March 2020, that was the whole idea, that if we can make a easy to use solution which any small business owner can get onboarded, it should be built from very first principle. Like, I'll give you a couple of example why like conventional HRMS is not fit for a small and medium uh, SME business owner. So most of these business owners, a small and medium sized business owner, they give certain advance payment to their employees. Like, they don't pay salary in one go. They keep on paying 1,000, 2,000 rupees in between the month, and by end of the month they do the reconciliation and pay rest of the amount. Most of these businesses, they keep track of each and every minute. When employee is, let's say, 10 minutes late, 20 minutes, or maybe he's working 30 minutes extra, they need to calculate the overtime, and it's a very cumbersome process when they're doing it on paper, or maybe even if they are using Excel sheet. These are very cumbersome processes for them. No HRMS platform which is built for, let's say, corporates, like couple of products like Darwinbox and things like that, they don't provide these kind of solution for these SMEs. So that's what, like, we got to understand, and then we launched our product in the month of March, where the idea was very simple: get all the SME owner in the country, ask them to onboard all the employees on the platform, and give the platform for them so that they can efficiently manage all their employees who are working in that particular business. And going forward, we'll figure out how to solve the financial need. Once the profiling of these guys will be done, how to solve the financial need of the employees who are working in that particular business. We launched the basic version of the product in the month of March 2020. In first 3 months, we got hell lot of insight from these SME owners. And then we built a couple of products which Harmeet will take you through when we'll be doing the presentation. In the first 8-9 months, like roughly around December 2020, we reached to like 1 million monthly active SME on the platform. Like, we were the fastest growing HRMS across the globe. No HRMS platform in the world has grown from 0 to 1 million active SME like this fast in 12 months time. We onboarded Akshay Kumar as a brand ambassador. From 3-4 people team to we scaled to 140-150 people team across the country. So that's how, like, our journey, first 12 months journey was. After reaching to a certain milestone, which is 3-4 million employees getting managed on the platform, and roughly around 1 million registered SME on the platform who are managing their employees every day on the platform, what we realize is that now is the high time to solve the deeper need when it comes to employee management for the SME owner, and at the same time the financial need that we wanted to solve for the employees. So from employee point of view, currently we have recently launched a product called early Pagar, where the idea is that somebody who is earning 15-20,000 rupees a month, working in a small business, and he or she is getting managed on Pagarbook platform based on his earning. Like, let's say today is 15th of October, and he's present for all these 15 days, he would have earned roughly 30-40,000 roughly 10,000 rupees of his salary. So based on the earned salary, we will provide a certain credit line to that particular guy, that particular employee, and he can take that particular money whenever he needs. So he does not need to go to his owner or anybody who is a local lender and ask, hey, I need 3,000 rupees, 4,000 rupees, and he can take that money out from Pagarbook credit line that Pagarbook is providing to him. Whenever his payday is there, whenever his salary day is there, he or she will have to repay it back to Pagarbook. That is the first product that we have launched where we wanted to solve the financial need of these guys. Having said that, we have currently 5-6 million employees getting managed on our platform. If each and every employee, their name, mobile number, the place from where they are, all the track record is there. Going forward, the whole idea is that solving the financial and professional need of the employees. And to do that, first we will build couple of financial products for these employees, starting from their credit product to saving product to couple of other things. And apart from that, we will also think to build something around verified profiling of these guys, where like we have the data point where they work, how much they work, how diligently they work, in which kind of business they work. So all these data points are kind of there in our ecosystem or in our database. It makes a lot of sense for us to build a job marketplace where verified profile of Pagarbook of all the employees who are getting managed on Pagarbook are there, and based on their requirement they can figure out the job, apply in some other companies based on their experience and things like that. So that is the next level of the evolution journey of Pagarbook. Obviously that is not there in next 6 months pipeline, but having said that, that is in general what we want to solve for Indian SMEs. So these were couple of things I wanted to put forward in this particular panel. Now I would maybe take a pause and see if anybody has any question. Otherwise, we'll move to the next panelist, Mr. Wan. Mr. Hamid, he'll talk about our product roadmap, what we have built, what are the solutions that we are providing to the SME owner as of now.
I think
Rupesh, I have a question.
Sure.
How many MSMEs are enjoying your facility currently?
So currently we have roughly around 1 million monthly active SME on the platform, out of which people who have more than 5 employees, that number is roughly 250 to 300K monthly active businesses who are using our platform having more than 5 employees. So why I'm mentioning this more than 5 employees factor is all these businesses where employee size is less than, let's say 2, 3 or 5, they don't need an employee management app. Most of the time they have certain chotu or maybe their family member only are using the platform to manage their employees. But people who have more than 5 employees, most of the time they are not family members. They are mostly the actual employees. So they need a proper employee management solution. It's a kind of headache for them by end of the month, how to do all the reconciliation, how to download the report, how to make the salary payout and all these things. All these things are kind of very sorted and in a very automated fashion here in our platform. So it makes their life very, very easy when it comes to employee size, higher employee size, like 5, 6 to maybe 100, 150, 200 employee size.
So you said you have 1 million companies already registered.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. And what is the uniqueness than other
Yes,
platform,
sure.
so that SME can attract towards your services?
So the first, like the broader answer of that particular question is we have built this particular product in a very grounds up fashion where this has been built for the SME owner, small and medium sized businesses, and not for a corporate business. Let's say certain features like, let's say if you're paying advance to your employees, you can go and record it in Pagarbook. If let's say you are a small business owner and all the certain employees do overtime in your business, you can just do that overtime calculation into the app. Let's say you have 20 employees, all these employees are on ground, all of them can have a mobile app, and based on their geolocation and selfie they can mark attendance. We have a really nice product called Lens. Lens is actually a facial recognition system which Harmeet will talk about in the presentation. But Lens essentially is a facial recognition system where any business owner can mount a small Android phone on the wall, and any employees entering into that particular premise, they'll just stand there and automatically attendance will be marked. Based on the attendance, payroll will be calculated on the platform. And whenever the employer want to make the payout, he can just immediately make payout for all the employees in one click. So these are the couple of things which makes the platform very unique. Having said that, the UI UX of the product is so easy that any SME owner can just get onboarded on the product. If you talk about like our free product where we don't charge any money to any SME owner, on that part of the product, we don't do any hand holding in terms of onboarding the employer, onboarding the employees, and things like that. Most of these business owners, they have come on the platform organically, as in without any hand holding. They just downloaded the app, they onboarded all the employees and start doing all the things like attendance, salary payout, salary record, advance payment recording, and things like that. So yeah, these are the couple of things broadly which makes us unique. And first mover in this particular market is also one of the advantage we have. No company as of now kind of the day we started, ideally March 2020 or February 2020, till that time nobody was trying to solve this particular problem from a very grounds of fashion, and at a very focused approach of only solving for SMEs. Because when it comes to SMEs, people are like, wo paise nahi dete hain, they don't, I mean, they don't pay a lot of money for the software and things like that.
Okay, good. So you have reached to 1 million companies. You must be
Yes.
aware that there are around 6.33 million MSMEs are in India. 6 crore 33 lakh MSMEs.
Yes,
And
63 million SMEs.
more than 6 crore self-employed.
Yes,
So that you think that huge ocean is there for you.
exactly. Exactly. A lot of like interesting stuff that we are trying to build, and a huge market here in India, not only in terms of market share to make money, but at the same time, making sure that country, or I mean, SMEs are the major contributor of our GDP. And if we will keep on solving some part of their problems, they are going to prosper, and hence, obviously, country is going to prosper. So that's the ideally whole idea for us to build Pagarbook and scale here in India.
Perfect. Good. Thank you.
Thank
Harmeet, you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Chandrakant. Thank you, Rupesh, for walking us through the journey of Pagarbook and what we envision to do in the future. Sorry, let me just share my presentation. So, as Rupesh mentioned, that a lot of companies were doing this previously for corporates. There was no one who was specifically building for, the SME sector. So let me just start with that. What are the products that actually exist in the market, right? So, okay, I think you should be able to see my presentation. So what we have seen is that most of the companies, even SMEs, they use one of these biometric devices. Now, the problem of this biometric devices, it is built for corporates. It's not built for SMEs. SMEs has different needs, right? What So because there are different requirements that an SME needs, they want to automate for the different types of staff. There can be either monthly staff, daily staff, hourly staff. They want to manage their attendance differently. They want to, record their overtime or late fine in a different way. They want to automate for different payment cycles. They don't pay their staff, say, first of every month. They might pay on 7th of every month. They might pay on 6th of every month. They want to track loans and advances to their employees. Sometimes what happens is these loans or advances are given on the go. The staff might come and say to the employer that, say I want 1,000 rupees, and the employer might give it, but he needs to, track it so that he doesn't lose his capital a lot. Out of all this, what happens is there are basically productivity issues, and there is no attendance tracking at all. Uh, Moreover, what we have seen is particularly in the manufacturing sector, uh, these employees work in multiple shifts, right? There can be either a morning shift, there can be either a night shift, right? So it can happen that maybe we have seen that a staff might work for, say, 24 hours in a single day. Just give me 1 second, I'll just put on charge. Yeah. So basically, these employees might work in multiple shifts. We have seen that employees also work 24 hours in a single shift. But this type of biometric device doesn't cater to these needs. There are different, as Mr. Chandrakant talked about, the different compliances which are needed, right? Uh, all of the SME owners has a CA associated with them, but they want to give CA some certain file so that they can, file the PF and ESI on a monthly basis. This is not solved by any HRMS product for SMEs as of now. Leave tracking is not transparent, both for the employers and for the staff as well. Employers need to know that how many leaves the staff has taken for the month or for the year, and the staff also need to know that how many leaves they can take, etc. So all of this leads to more hassle and more headache. What we basically want is the employer to focus on his business and not on the attendance and payroll management of the employees. So yeah. So what was the solution around it? As Rupesh mentioned that, when we started in 2019, our founders actually went in person in areas of Gujarat, Maharashtra, everywhere, and asked SME owners that what are the issues that these guys were facing, because they found out that this problem was definite, right? This was a problem which was faced by a lot of SME owners, and therefore we worked on a solution and built an app in 2019. So we came up with a solution and a basic idea in mind was that it should be easy to use, it should be hassle free, and the SME owner should be able to focus on his business and not on the attendance and payroll. Attendance and payroll should be hassle free, right? So yeah, then we came up with Pagarbook. I'll just walk you through whatever features that we have in Pagarbook. The first major one being the Pagarbook lens. Now, as I mentioned that a normal biometric device which has been there in the market that works in silos. That biometric device might just track, say, absent or present, or just mark the in time and out time of an employee. It's not even connected to the payroll management. A person has to manually sit and, at the end of the month or at the end of the every cycle, he needs, and maybe an accountant or an HR needs to sit at the end of the month to calculate that, oh, this was the attendance for the entire month, or this will be the salary. Uh, it's not even connected to a software. The beauty of Pagarbook Lens is it's absolutely automated and connected to the Pagarbook software. So whatever features that Pagarbook has, it's connected with Pagarbook Lens. Now, how does it work, right? It's just a software, right? You can just plug in, you can just download the software, and on an Android phone or a tab, you can just put it whatever place you want, in a factory, in your hotel, in your hospital, wherever you want to, right? You can just take the selfie, just the face one time for the staff, and every time the staff joins the work, he just has to show his face and the attendance will be marked. Now this attendance is automatically linked to the staff's salary and the end of the cycle, whether it is a monthly staff, daily staff, or an hourly staff. At the end of the cycle, that salary will be calculated. Now, what we have seen is that SME owners are very particular about the salary that they want to give to their employees, right? Because yeah, capital. Who doesn't want to save money? So if a person comes late to the office, then the SME owner wants to deduct some fine. If the person leaves early, the SME owner wants to deduct certain money, right? So we have all of this automated. It's just a one-time thing. You just have to set up the grace period, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want to send, and based on that we'll deduct the salary. So this is the Pagarbook Lens. Then as I mentioned that you can pay salaries according to the different types of staff, whether it is monthly staff, regular staff, etc. You can mark different types of attendance. Yeah. Then this is just another version of the attendance feature that we have, which is basically selfie and location attendance. We have a software for the employer and we have a software for the employee as well. Why for the employee? Because employee also has certain needs, right? If the employer is paying him salary, he wants to see his payslip. He wants to take a look at his attendance. He also wants to be, completely aware whether whatever salary has been given to him, is that correct or not. On top of that, we have also added a selfie and location based attendance feature there, where the employee can just, whenever he reaches the office, he can just record, he can just take a selfie, and that would be sent to the employer, and the employer can just have a look at the selfie and also the location from where the selfie is marked, and then the attendance would be approved. As I mentioned that these all are linked to the payroll as well. So at the end of the cycle, suppose if it's a weekly staff, then at the end of the week, or suppose if it's a monthly staff, then the end of the month, we say that this is the due amount which is there, keeping in mind all the loans, advances that you have given to the staff, keeping in mind all the overtime late fine that has been deducted, everything. And then you can, in one single click to all your staff, you can, just pay. We have multiple payment options also available. automate PF ESI settings. Now, filing is a hassle for all the SME owners. So SME owners, as I mentioned, that they might have a CA with them, but the data SME owner only needs to give to the CA. So what we have done is, for say, you can set up a regular staff, you can define his or her earnings, that this is the basic contribution, this is the any DA contribution, everything. And then you can define that this is the PF that I want to deduct. It can be either fixed, it can be either variable. So if it is 12% variable, it can be 1800 fixed. And then ESI also you can select basis the components that you have set up. All of this is completely automated. At the end of the month, we give you an Excel report saying that this is the PF which has been deducted for the staff. This has been the ESI which has been deducted for the staff. Both the employer contribution and the employee contribution in an Excel file, which you can directly upload on the PF ESI portal of the government, and it definitely helps you in saving your time. Then apart from the payroll and attendance management, an SME owner also has certain business expenses. It can be either, say, you want to pay electricity, you want to pay rent, or there can be certain vendor expenses. Suppose if you take certain, goods from a vendor, or if you even do some sales, all of this, the SME owner wants to record this in a certain place, because in the end, the payroll is something which is going out, but there is also something which is coming in. So all of the business expenses and the sales part which has been coming, he or she also wants to record in the single platform. For that, we have built this feature called Cashbook, where you can record all your credit and debit transactions and keep a record of all your business expenses. And again, everything, all of this, we also give certain PDF reports which you can download, and if you want, you can share this with your CA as well. As I mentioned previously, this is the staff app. Staff app is basically the employee app, where the employee can see his attendance, his daily attendance. He can mark his own attendance. He can see the salary slips. He can request for loans and advances as well. This is the manager mode. So an SME might not be owned by a single person. He or she might have certain partners. He or she might have certain CAs or accountants who are taking care of a certain part of the product, or maybe an HR or an admin who takes care of certain other things. So we realize that there needs to be certain access which needs to be given to each and every person. So therefore, we built this feature which is called you can just assign an admin from your Pagarbook software, wherein admin will have complete access of the entire Pagarbook system. And also you can assign a manager who can take care of the attendance and the payment. So if you give a manager access to someone, he or she can just, he or she is someone who is there on the ground where your employees work, and they can mark the attendance accordingly, or just have a view of the system if it's breaking or not. Then there are leave policies. So there are different needs of leave policies. Some employers give a monthly policy, some employers give a yearly policy. Then there are different rules which are set up, right? There can be either carry forward rules, there can be either encash rules. Some employers want that if I'm giving 10 leaves in a month or 10 leaves in a year, then I want to encash, say, 2 in the next month, or I need to encash, say, 3 in the next policy cycle. All of this you can define one time in the Pagarbook application, and everything is automated. Whether it is carry forward, automatically the leaves will be carry forward in the next policy cycle, and the count will increase, and also it will be encashed. Then there are different public holidays which needs to be there for the staff, or say on Gandhi Jayanti, or say on Diwali, if you want to give certain holiday. So in the holiday calendar, you can set it in advance, and on that particular day, that employee will be giving a paid leave. Then there are different weekly holidays as well. Different staff might have different weekly holidays. For some staff, you might give a weekly holiday on a Monday or a Tuesday. For some staff, you might give on a, say, Wednesday or a Thursday. So all of this, for different staff, you can set up different weekly holidays. Then staff loans. This is something that Rupesh also talked about, that we want, because we have the entire payroll data of the staff, we have the credit profile also of the staff. So instead of giving the burden on the employers, because previously and currently also what happens is the burden of the loans and advances falls on the employer, right? But why should the employer waste his or her capital on the staff? because he's anyways paying. He can just invest that amount into his own business and grow his business. So we have built this feature called Pagar Book Cash, or early Pagar, what we call it, wherein the employees can can request for a loan for us, and the loan will be processed in 1 minute. We give loans up to 25,000 rupees. So yeah, so we have tried to build a platform wherein it serves the desktop users as well, it serves the iOS users, it serves the Android users, and all of this is synced. These are some of the testimonials which our clients want, which our clients, mentioned us. We receive different testimonials also. We keep talking to our users and we receive a very positive feedback, saying that, a lot of time is saved because of Pagar Book, because now they can manage their business better and they need not worry about the attendance and the payroll system. So as you can see that, previously Mr. Vijay had to, micromanage every task. Now he can just open an app and he can see that he has already a manager assigned. He can just see that, how many money has went into, how many employees have been given the salary and whatnot. So yeah, that would be it from my side. If you have any questions, you can just drop in on the chat. And also, we are running a special offer for all the SME Chamber of India members. I've circulated a form in the chat. You can just fill in, and our team will contact you accordingly. So yeah, open for any questions if you have.
I'm the founder of PK Consulting. Let me first thank Salunke ji, Sakshi ji, Pranali, and entire team of SME Chambers of India in their well-organized efforts in scheduling this quality engagement. I also thank my fellow speakers for their best efforts in sharing their experiences in making SMEs grow their businesses. My deepest gratitude to the audience, our friends who have joined from across the country to listen to us. I encourage all of you to ask questions from us. So to make this engagement a dialogue, to share each other's experience and learn from each other and grow more. Now, what does PKC do? We are low-cost consulting firm providing digital and financial transformation services is specifically designed for SMEs of India. Now, so before I get into benefits of digitization, which is the agenda of my speaking, I would first bring in our financial consulting approach to the SMEs, which also my fellow speakers gave a lot of thirst, and their product is more designed to help the SMEs into the financial area, and which is of course the part of the whole digital. So in fact, the money itself is getting more digital now. So now, what does the financial consulting means for us, and what we actually serve to our customers is that for SMEs of India, I believe the biggest problem in growing a business is finance. Either they do not get it from the banks due to the age-old lending rules, or even if they get at high interest rates, which makes their business, in other words, we call them ROCE actually, that is the return on capital invested, or that return on capital employed, becomes so high that they invariably become incompetent. So both ways they are trapped. Either they have money, but the cost of money is so high that they cannot beat the competition, and either they don't have money, so there's no question of growing the business. Now, the value that we bring in here is we help SMEs avail finance ranging from $2 million to $525 million at lowest possible interest rates and hassle-free. In the sense, if we find the business viable, they get a jackpot. If we don't find the business viable, we say sorry, and all quick to the extent a week or two, either they have the money in their bank account or they don't have money for the further planning of their own. There's no pillar to post running at all. Plus, we help owners manage their personal wealth through our advisory services. So we have personal wealth management advisory services, especially for SME owners. We help them make sure that they have enough money saved or managed for their rainy days, which is quite frequent now, especially last couple of years have been very challenging for SMEs to really manage with their wealth and finances. Because sometimes they are not only rains, they are thunderstorms like COVID that we have, where even God refuses to help, except the fact who is alive is blessed. So why do we do this? We do this to make sure that an SME owner does not mix his or her financial wealth with the business and personal. So most of the owners in India, we have observed, they have not bifurcated their wealth, personal wealth from their professional wealth. And when there is a thunderstorm, the things are very difficult. So we have these two specific services on the professional side that we help them finance with their company and the organization, and also the personal wealth management. So the purpose is to help them become the pillar of their own when it comes to their money management or finance management. Now, the catch-22 situation that we have when we talk about the technology is that the technology adoption itself, basis my 20 years of experience working with almost every sector of industry, be it textile, be it automotive, be it food processing or retail. The single most challenge the owners have is that they understand the need of technology to improvise. They need technology to improvise the business environment, to make their employees happy, to make the customer happy, to beat the competition. They need technology. But at the same time, the same story, where are the profits? Where are the profits to reinvest in business? That too in the area which comes under non-tangible asset allocation. This is absolutely dangerous. I know that I need technology, but I don't have enough capex or I don't have enough profits my business generates, so that I invest on something which is intangible for me. Now, who bridges this gap? Who will make me understand how technology is really going to help me making my growth better? Now, this well, how we basically bridge this is we say that if they do not put technology first, so we basically say that all your business, you talk about your business, but I talk about technology. So why they should talk technology first? Because if they don't put technology first, their revenues are not going to grow. They may feel their business is growing, they may feel, but if their technology is not growing, or if they are not growing technologically, their revenues or their return on equity, or we call it as return on capital employed, is actually not going to grow. We have the systems in place, we have the case scenarios in place where we convince the management that it is the technology first you need to talk. Rest, you are the masters of their own business, so there's no problem, but we are masters in implementing and helping you build technology for your benefit. Therefore, we add value for SMEs, just like the big fours, that is PwC or EY or Deloitte does for the large corporations. So we bring in our cost for the SMEs. We bring in high quality consulting approach at a lower cost, because SMEs cannot really afford to really have the big fours in place. They cannot even think of. So we are basically trying to bridge that problem. Now, what we basically do and how we actually approach is that we say that there are there are sharks which are eating out the fishes every day. I hope you are getting what I want to say is that, I mean, we make a fish that is a small SME first to survive the attacks of the shark or the big people, and then get ready get prepared to shoot one to become one shark. That's the way they can actually survive. So we help SMEs owners firstly to realize the impact of a new technology, be it a machine, it could be a machine of their own business that they need, it could be a software, it could be a hardware device, or any investment that can help enhancing employee or customer experience. We are very clear that when you talk about technology, it is not all about your business, your transactions getting better. It is the employee and the customer experience getting better, because that's the whole competition over there. The competition has gone so much far ahead that their whole purpose of doing business is to enhance customer satisfaction, and SMEs are well below the approach even to really talk about this. So we say you put technology first. When you put technology first, you experience the experience of what technology brings into you, and then you will realize how you can actually make your customers happy. Then we bring in stakeholder engagement, you see. So first we buy out the management, and then we buy in the stakeholder engagement, and then we make them feel secure in the sense that implement ERP software, or let's say a payroll software, or let's say an HR software, will not take their jobs away. Rather, it will empower them to think how best to get out of resources, which in financial language we call it as asset turnover. This is one of the very key parameters when we look at a company. Could be a 10 crores company, could be a 25, could be a 50 crores plus. So when we look at a business, we look at their one of the key parameters apart from ROCE, ROE, that we look at asset turnover. How the actually company is utilizing its assets, and no better assets than employees we could consider, or no better assets than customers. So for us, rest of the tangible investments are very meager. So in simple words, if I put, we act as a bridge for technology companies who are selling their products or services, but do not or cannot bring in consultative approach in selling for various reasons. Because if I own a product or if I own a service, I'm more focused about bringing in revenues from that. So I mean, the large companies, they have consultative approach in their selling, and that's how basically they have become big. Technology selling is not all about selling a product or selling a commodity. So we have seen and we believe that technology selling or technology implementation is still far, commodity is hardware, or could be, we can say it could become a commodity, but says the positioning the software, implementing a software, and getting the benefits out of it, it's a very consultative approach, and this has its own rewards in the process for customers, for all the stakeholders in the process. And for customers who is unable to understand the value addition or unable to get ROI from the existing investments that they have done in the systems or in their IT infrastructure. So we basically help them realize the ROI. So most of the time we have seen SMEs, not all SMEs are not tech savvy, they have invested, but then in the process they have lost, basically they have not been able to really get the ROI out of it. And either they have jumped the new investment saying that let's wait and drag on, you know, and most of the SMEs, I would say, they are good at dragging on. So that is the bridging we do between the technology providers and the consumers and the customers. So I hope in above I am able to convey the only way for SMEs is to put technology first. That's the key purpose and approach we bring in when we engage with SMEs, and because we are into consulting areas, so our whole deliveries and our whole purpose starts from let's talk technology first. Could be bad, could be otherwise, but we make them help understand why technology first. So yeah, that's it from me. I would share the link of my website or of our website in the chat box so that you can visit and know more about who we are and what we do. And I would love to take question and answers in the process from the audience or to anyone who is interested to know more about us and how we can help.
Yeah, I have received one question for you. Many SMEs are facing problem for particularly improving digitalization in their in-house, and particularly related to HR segment. What is your observation or what is your suggestion particularly how SME sector can improve their capabilities or productivity or services by utilization or acceptance or identifying the unique technology?
Salunke-ji, can you be a little more specific on your question, please?
See, usually now we are talking about HR.
Yeah.
In HR, there is not a huge focus to be given, but some very unique and very critical points we have to take care. Similarly, if we focus on the digitization, particularly in house productivity wise, quality services wise, business management wise, or utilization of the smart business solutions, how they can improve their capacity.
Okay, so I take this is the question that I have understood, which I would like to share. Let's see. For me, for us, when we engage with the customers, especially with the SMEs, for human resource or the employees that they have in their organization, maybe could be a 25 employees company, could be a 50 employees company. You see, the owners, there are rock stars, so he is everywhere, all around. He's into finance, he's into marketing, he's into sales, everywhere. His presence is all around in the office. For us, when we say you put technology first, we say that there are many which you miss. For example, let's say the accounting part of it that our fellow speakers have been talking in detail. It really helps solving some of day-to-day issues of the employees. I mean, they have spoken about, we are talking about employees which are at, let's say, at every level of organization, but let's talk about executive levels where when it comes to traveling, they would not want to be dependent on claiming their expenses back or following up with the account section. So there are solutions and there are technologies that have been built where are seamlessly when let's say an employee has to really go for some work outside of the office, it's a hassle-free, claimless approach. They neither have to pay nor have to ask for any reimbursements, and that is an area where it improves the experiences of the organization. So that's one technical approach of it. To me, when I speak about employee experiences, you see, every possible experience that can help my employee to lead a better life. When I say life, it is out of the office first. And when they are in the office, for us, technology implementation is not about using technology for the work. No. If I am using a solution or if I am using a software per se, am I really making my employees' job easier so that they have time to think better? So this is such a vast approach. The question is I'm so passionate about answering this question, but since there is no specific delivery of the question here, I can elaborate hugely and to the extent that for me, you see, providing a good office environment also is a technology for us. Now, it sounds very naive that from the computer softwares or technology, I'm coming down to talking about office. Yes, see, the IT companies in India, they have basically given millennials the exposure which is very difficult for SMEs to match. We all come from middle class families, and some of us or one of us in our family itself work for an office which is posh, which has every You know, for me, having a good coffee machine which can automatically produce coffee if I press a button, it's a technological investment. Sounds funny, but that's the way it is. Now, SMEs have to really think of technology providing for their survival so that their employees become comfortable. Yeah, there could be a different aspect of it. You give more, the times have gone that if I give more facilities to my employees, they become lazy. No, that's not the approach. You need to, I again probably try to conclude the answer. Everything that you do, beat your employees because they are only going to do the work. Rock stars are just should be the face of the company. Yeah, they have all the rights to do the jobs also, but it won't lead any good to the company. But everything that you do in your company, think of technology first. Can I bring in a technology which can help my employees performing better? It could spoil them. That's a separate issue to discuss. You forget about it. You think of your business. Now, when you bring in this approach, automatically it will lead you to think about how can I make my customer more happy. So for me, you put technology first, you bring in your employees, you bring in your customers, your business is done. There is nothing, you just sit back and relax. This is the approach. Maybe I'm sorry if I'm not answered very specific because I could not get any specific questions, but I'm always available in terms of taking the questions offline to get into more specifics. Yeah, thank you, Salukji.
Thank you, Mr. Keswani. There is a one question for Mr. Mishra. What is the license cost of your technology products? So, would you like to answer that, Mr. Mishra, before leaving?
Yes, yes, sure. So I have a meeting from 5 o'clock. I extended it for 5 minutes. So I'll just answer this question and I'll drop. Sorry for that. But the costing of the product is roughly 300 rupees per employee per year, is what the costing is roughly. But obviously, when it comes to size of the business, let's say somebody having 500 employees versus someone having 30 employees, in all those cases, we can talk about the negotiations and stuff like that. But the MRP is roughly 300 rupees per employee per year, where we provide couple of services like starting from this Lens, which is our attendance automation system, to payroll management, our web product where certain compliance feature, bulk payout, and all those things are there. Uh, at the same time, employees will also have an app where they can mark attendance based on their location. We provide them certain financial services product access like early pagar and things like that. So yes, this is what the pricing is, to answer the question.
So another one is asking that how do you connect with the SMEs to buy your products?
Two ways. One obviously is that can you please paste that Google form link into the Q&A section? We are not allowed to paste that link. So can you do that?
Yeah.
First that Daisy Garud. You can please fill that form that Sakshi is sharing in that chat. Apart from that, you can just go on our website and sign up, and we'll give you a call. You
Yeah,
can,
and also like from SME Chamber of India, all the participants, we will share the link. Please share that link with us, and also we can share it to our members also. And
Sure.
Harmeet ji has mentioned that he is giving some discounts to the SME Chamber. So I
Sure.
would like to tell all the participants and to the members and to the viewers from other Facebook and also those who are looking from YouTube that they will be getting the discounts from the Pagar book if they will, go through the Google link. I
Yes.
think thank you, Rupesh ji. And
Thanks.
now I would like to invite Ms. Shalini Jain, Associate Principal Senior VP, HR E-Clubs, to share her thoughts on importance of technology in HR. Over to you, Shalini ji.
Thank you, everyone. And, I would really like to thank SME Chambers of India for arranging this and having me here. I'll try to be relevant to the audience, and so that the experience I carry, I've been working in HR field for like 20 years. The experience I carry, you may get some importance of why technology is important in the HR world. Whether you're the owner of business or you're an HR working with an SME, it is I think Girish also mentioned that why technology is important, and I will explain why it is. So I would like to mention a story what we have experienced as HRs when the pandemic hit. In before pandemic, we all thought that basic HR, systems like attendance, payroll, recruiting would be good enough. But the moment pandemic hit us, we all didn't know what to do, how to track our employees, how to make sure they're doing well, how to connect with them day to day, because we were all equipped with the systems available in offices, right? We never had systems available at home or at virtual places from wherever they were working. That time we realized that how important it is to make and think beyond, what you are doing today. The companies which were matured enough to create the technology platform much earlier, they could transition to this remote setup or virtual setup quite well. But the companies which were struggling and they did not even, had the basic payroll, probably software or attendance marking, those companies really struggled how to release payment or how to make sure that the person is working or not. So that's where, I would say the importance of technology. Now think about it, and I'm just speaking from HR specific, that if an HR is working, on a manual system, and I'm sure I have seen companies and I've worked with companies which had a headcount of 500 and now they are at about 13,000 headcount. They could scale it up because they had systems with it, so that adding more manpower, adding more resources, they could digest. If you don't have right systems in the place when you're small, it becomes quite difficult for any business owner or HR to handle that scale. I'm sure all SMEs would like to add more resources, employees, and the intent is to grow. The growth will come if you have right backbone to it. It cannot happen that you become 10,000 or 20,000 employee base and then realize that, oh, I should have an HRMS system to look after my employees. Because whatever you say, the priorities of HR, and I would just like to mention that what do we really look at when I being an HR. So I handle HR for 10,000 employees, but I've also handled companies which were starting with 500 employees. The most important thing is what kind of jobs you are just doing away with. Something which your employees themselves can do, and you don't require an HR to do. There are many queries which HR call up and ask that, what's my leave balance? How do I apply my leave? When is my payroll coming? What is the deduction I may have at the end of the month? All that, if we have a technology, which it's a self-service, right? If we can create that platform to an employee that you go and check your data yourself, it reduces about 10 to 15% of a manual job from an HR professional. In that particular time, he can or she can add much more value to the business or to the employee than doing this manual job. Second, if you are looking for scale, okay, when you are looking for growing, the most important thing is how are you reaching people? If you don't have right recruiting platforms, which can at least connect with people that, hey, I have jobs, please apply. If you don't have that platform itself, you will not be known by anyone in the applicant stage. So that's the basic, any organization which want to, grow or develop people. There are a lot of learning, L&D, give it to people. If you think about it, when all our offices were closed, if we did not have the online training mechanism, how we would have trained our people. We trained our people on technical stuff. We trained our people on how to manage people, how to handle their anxieties when they were not working from office. There were many issues related to employee wellness, which we had to face in last 2 years. We could address our employees only because we had the method to connect with them. And this could, you can give any name, whether it is digitalization or technology or whatever. You all know that how, when we all were in lockdown, banks and the currencies were not there in floating. We all moved to digitalized platform of payment, right? And I'm sure now India, if you look at, everyone is in a technology platform. If in terms of the transactions, the cash transactions, what we make. Similarly, if you are a company of 500, 600 employee base, or for that matter, 200 or 100, start thinking on those lines now. Because if you really want to keep a pace, with the larger players, or you want to grow yourself, you need to put systems which will, correct you every time. There are so many employment laws and regulations keep on changing. If you have a right software which keeps updating itself, on the latest employment laws or regulations, it will, help you follow the compliance as per what government lays on us. That's how we follow. We try. The biggest, I would say, the risk or the worry of any HR professional will be, are we going against the law, or are we going against the regulations laid by labor laws? And hence, if we have a backbone as a technology, the whole system works seamlessly. It puts the right checks and balances in the system, and we don't make an error in the whole process. So overall, I would say the priority, if you ask me as an HR professional, creating the best employee experience by giving them the self-service, to communicate and to create the reach, or to bring the scalability. I think you need to have a right HRMS or a soft. I'm not talking about bulky HRMSs, but any kind of technology which connects with you and the market and the employee. That is, required. And the learning, an upscaling platform in case you make online, you should invest in that so that you keep the pace with the market, because whatever you say, your people want that. They would be with you if they are getting the best learning and best experience within your organization. And the last, the compliance, which we should not forget. The right technology, you can put all the right approval process in the place. You don't have to sign any paper in the long run. If you have right approval systems in place, put right regulation safeguards in your system, so you're secured in all respects. So from an employee standpoint, they will get the best experience from all regulations and government norms. You will also be secured. And if these two, put the things together, you have a robust system, you are ready to scale for future. If you don't have all that, probably your HR must be spending 50% of their time in doing attendance, payroll, performance management on paper, and it's sheer wastage of time and a resource, which a technology can solve. And I have experienced it. Lot of technology, it provides the kind of data, and in fact, with those data points, it will help you make right decisions in future. Now the new technologies I am using, at least, which is on chatbot, AIML. I'm trying to be relevant in the sense, chatbot is something when an employee can chat with us and talk to a robot asking how much is my leave balance. No, you don't need a person for that. You just put the policies in the backdrop, and employee knows what the answer should be. AI/ML, you must be experiencing in all the technology platform you use on mobile. It is a similar thing what you can also adopt in your companies, but yeah, that could be later once you advance in the basic from the basic technology interventions within your company. So, if you want to really do away with administrative tasks and you really want a value addition coming from your HR professionals in your company, and if you're an HR of that particular company, please suggest to bring in a technology. It will help you making right decisions, because so much of data you will receive, and by analyzing data, you may be able to really make right decision. And now, since we are all on, we are open for remote working, you can hunt talent across India. If you have that reach, if you have that platform, don't have to really hunt for talent locally. You can just talk to the talent across India and, scale the way you want. So these are my few cents, and this is all I'm talking through my experience. I'm open to questions. I think that would be better to, relate to what kind of questions you would have in your mind. But whether small or large, I think technology plays a very, very important role in the business itself. It's just not HR, but managing business and managing people. It is the important factor now. If someone is not adopting that, they will be lagging behind in the long run. And I'm open for any questions in case someone wants to ask.
Thank you, Shalini ji, for your great thoughts regarding the advantages or regarding the technology specifically. And first of all, that on a short notice you have joined today's program. I would like to say thanks from SME Chamber of India. And now we are. I think there are no questions right now, but if any questions comes to us further, definitely we will share with all our speakers. And on behalf of SME Chamber of India, I would like to say thanks to all the speakers and especially to the Pagar Book for supporting this event and to give the more technology and to understand more technology to the SME sector, that what are the technologies that are available in HR to SME. And as Ms. Shalini ma'am said that particularly that why the technology is important in SME sector or the SME businesses. So I would like to request all our members and viewers also to look into the pagarbook.com website also. And if any questions further to that, please do not hesitate to contact SME Chamber of India for that. With this word, I would like to end this session. Thank you, Mr. Chandrakant Salmukhe, for joining this session and all other speakers also. Thank you very much.